Welcome to the Resilient Retail Game Plan, a podcast for anyone wanting to start, grow or scale a profitable creative product business with me, Catherine Erdley. The Resilient Retail Game Plan is a podcast dedicated to one thing, breaking down the concepts and tools that I've gathered from 20 years in the retail industry and showing you how you can use them in your business. This is the real nuts and bolts of running a successful product business, broken down in an easy, accessible way. This is not a podcast about learning how to make your business look good. It's the tools and techniques that will make you and your business feel good. Confidently plan, launch and manage your products, and feel in control of your sales numbers and cash flow to help you build a resilient retail business. Welcome to the Resilient Retail Game Plan. It is episode number 158. Hi everyone, this is Catherine. I'm your host as well as the founder of the Resilient Retail Club. You can visit resilientretailclub.com for all of the information about my membership group as well as my mastermind, which will be reopening shortly for a September start. So if you've been thinking about getting some more support in your business, head over to resilientretailclub.com. Click on the link for Mastermind and you can get all of the details as well as add yourself to the waiting list. Today we have a very special guest. Helen Dukes is the founder of Disko Kids and she's also one of my longest running clients. We've worked together on and off for about the last 4 years and she's also a big fan of the podcast. So I'm so delighted that I have finally convinced her to come and join me. She has got an amazing story about how she built up her business from an idea that she had a few years ago all the way up to where it is today with a full unit and team of people. And Helen shares some real gems about what it takes to grow a business to this size and specifically how to grow your team to support you in this phase. Helen, thank you so much for joining me today. Do you want to start off by introducing yourself and your business?
Hi, Catherine. Yeah, this is very surreal because I normally listen to you every Friday on my run. So I'll make sure I don't listen to this one. I'm Helen. I run Disko Kids and we have been trading for about 6.5 years now. We produce, this is my little elevator pitch, but we produce music-inspired designs on ladies and kids still clothing alongside a growing range of party wear, accessories, disco bags, jewellery, and we've still got the prints as well.
Amazing. And we've worked together for, I'm going to say 4 years, something like that. I feel like we've worked together.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you as well, just not only for that, but just for the podcast. You must be helping so many different businesses out there and keeping us on. You've definitely kept me on track and, brought things back to the sort of the important parts of the business that I sort of tend to forget when I'm designing t-shirts and stuff.
Well, thank you. And I know you are a long-time listener, so I'm really excited. I've finally persuaded to get you on the podcast. So you talked about everything being music inspired. Do you want to tell us a bit about what gave you the idea to start Disko Kids and a bit about your background as well?
Yeah, so we'd been running a men's t-shirt brand before Disko Kids. I don't know if you know that, called No Way Back, which was sort of men's t-shirts, obviously inspired by dance music culture. And we worked with a lot of DJs and labels and found a really good printer. And I think we just kind of thought, let's try and get some t-shirts for kids, a bit of a niche market, put the designs on the kids' t-shirt and kept it separate to the men's business. And it just sort of, rocketed. My background, sort of the whole music factor is I used to DJ sort of through the 90s. I left Liverpool Poly in about 92, was it? God, I can't remember. And sort of went into retail. I desperately wanted to just stay in Liverpool and become a DJ. But my mum told me to come back to, I think it was Milton Keynes, but they were living it at the time. And I got a job at Next as a floor manager and just worked my way up there. So my main background is retail, really. And then that sort of carved myself a career for being a DJ alongside that. How I managed a store and sort of went off at the weekend and DJ'd, came back and carried on. I don't know, but yeah.
That is so amazing. It's so cool. Honestly, I love it when you post on your Instagram and you have like the throwback and it just looks like an amazing time. But yeah, you're right, because imagine DJing and retail, they're both super focused on the weekends. So that must have been a bit of a pinch.
Exactly. I know. Yeah, I know. I remember one morning going off to work in my dog tooth suit, I was at the time, from somebody's house in Birmingham. They just looked at me saying, "You're going to do what?" But yeah, some crazy times. And, the money was good. And I did just DJ for a year, but I think I realized, my mum's sort of in my head probably at some point going, yeah, you can't do that for the rest of your life. But I still buy records, and I'm just trying to get some digital stuff sorted so I can actually do some mixes again. I've been trying to do it for years, but ironically, Disko Kids has stopped me. The time I've spent on that, as well as the pesky kids, has I've not done it.
But it means that music's really kind of baked into everything that you do, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all the designs, we try and sort of have a theme. I think a lot of our customers used to go raving, and, there's new customers, younger customers that still like to go out to clubs, or, like to have that association with music. They're still going to festivals, or they want something to wear that reflects the fact they like music. It's not just disco, it's all types of music. And, it really is a massive part of my life. So I guess it just comes through in the clothes as well.
And people love so a lot of your slogans, for example, are music themed, obviously.
Yeah, sort of last night a DJ. Often it's because I like the track. So we've just released One More Time, which is obviously Daft Punk inspired.
Love it.
Got, the disco tee is actually our bestseller, and it's just as disco, but everyone seems to like it. So yeah.
So why not? It's interesting you talked about, then obviously the name is Disko Kids and you started with kids wear, but how has that changed over the years?
Yeah, so it was just kids, and not the reason we're called Disko Kids. I am a child of the disco. That's kind of but yeah, we started with kids, and then a big influencer, sort of a year in, said to us, it was the roller skates design, and she said, "Oh, can you do me one on a sweatshirt?" And we did, and it just went mental. We're literally selling. Luckily, our printer's local, and he could turn around the stock, but we just sold. At that point, it was a lot, probably a sort of 100. But over time, we sort of realised we needed to change the direction and start sort of selling sweatshirts for women as well. And it was sweatshirts at that point. Sort of t-shirts have taken over now. And then as that happened, then we put the designs on prints. The print range sort of started. The whole gallery wall trend was kicking off, so a lot of people were buying multiple prints. And yeah, it just sort of everything has happened gradually, and we've trialed new things. The jewelry, we stocked things like Jack and Frida, S. Evans disco pendants, and they worked, so we increased the range. So it's kind of, it's just evolved really, and to the point now I've had to cut things out, so the poor men's had to go last year. Not the men, and but we kept the kids because it's where we began, and it's quite easy just to sort of keep the stock turning over and keep a small section of the unit with the kids' tees. Yeah, we didn't let them go in the end.
Right, I see. So it's just shifted naturally in response to demand.
And again, all the stylists and influencers that sort of share our and customers obviously as well. It's all that sort of word of mouth, isn't it? And it's massive alongside the other marketing that we do as well. So thank you to everyone that's shared our t-shirts. It really does mean the world.
Yeah, I have to say you do have a lot. That's why I always think about your business, and I always think about how you've grown, because obviously that's the joy of working with you over all these years, from when you were literally at your kitchen table, which I know we're going to talk about a bit more. But you always have had a real knack for finding people to share the designs. So you've got quite an extensive range of people who will wear your products and share them. And is that something that's kind of grown up organically through connections that you maybe had, or has that also been something you've really mindfully pursued?
I guess in the early days I didn't know about Facebook ads. That came a lot later, and sort of the bigger marketing. I used to do loads of blog posts and try and involve people that way. I just reached out to people because that's all I knew. I could see that Instagram back then was a great place to sort of share. It's very different now, isn't it? From that side. I mean, 34 people every week see my post if I just do a picture. But but back then it was massive. If somebody did share something, you would really see a growth in your following and your sales. And obviously when something works, you kind of go with it, don't you? So I would reach out to people that I knew were into music or that might like our designs, and that covered stylists and bigger influencers like Joe Wiley. And it was just either luck or she liked what we did, she liked the small business, or people might like the fact we support a charity. I just don't know. I'm really grateful for how it has worked that way, and the people that have. But there's no. I just literally send people messages and see if they'd like to share.
Yeah, well, I think that's great that you just took the action, because I think a lot of the people, when they're working with influencers, they feel, or they think about working with influencers, they feel stuck with where to start. And you were like, let's just go for it. Let's just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've talked a little bit about how it's changed over the years, but what have been some of the pivotal points along the way?
I guess the biggest one, obviously, is the unit, the legendary unit. I think, was it? Yeah, lockdown was pretty hairy, as you can imagine. We just really grew in that period. And I literally was, I mean, it kept me sane through lockdown, I think, keeping orders on top. And but it got to the point when, we came out and we were just too big for the house. I think Lottie counted 84 boxes, and they're not small boxes. They're like clear IKEA boxes in the house at one point. They were everywhere in piles stacked.
I remember you telling me we were talking obviously during lockdown, and you were saying, well, it wouldn't have been during lockdown, but sort of during that super fast growth, where you were saying that the team would come in and they'd have to get all the boxes out and then they'd have to pack it all away so you could have dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the kitchen was the last place. We've got sort of like an open plan kitchen, so that was the last place that had the boxes, really. But they were around the dog's bowl, and they literally, it was like a workout having to get the top box off to get to the bottom box and putting them back again. So bless them. Yeah. And then Anna, who was working for me at the time, was massive in sort of helping me. She's had a lot of experience in project management, and she was able to sort of set the unit up while I carried on with the rest of the business. All this stuff I don't like sort of setting up insurance and all that comes with that. And then we moved into the unit. I think that was 2021 with a small team. And I just thought everything was going to be, that's it. We're in here now. I can just go off and do the stuff that I wanted to sort of do with the business, like manufacturing. I'd managed to set up a Peanuts collaboration and sort of even sort of sign the contract. I'd got, what else did I get? I was getting somebody to look at the website and how people shop on the website. And it was just ridiculous, because really that first year I should have been in the unit spending all my time on setting up systems and working with the team and just making sure, there was good procedures in place, that customer service, well, that has never sort of dropped. I've always focused on that, but all the things that you need within a team of people to sort of to have it cohesive and running smoothly. So that was my biggest learning curve, I think, is just kind of doing it slowly. I'm not, anyone that knows me knows that I want things, if I have something in my head, I just go for it and sort of want it to happen. So patience is key, I think, and just working. I mean, we've only just got around this year to moving to click and drop. So we used to use our local postie, take all the bags, he'd pick up the bags and take the parcels down to the post office. And, we've saved so much money, to be fair, just using click and drop. But it was something that I wasn't very good at, sort of, or I just didn't have the brain space to do. But now we've done it, it's, it's a massive saving for the business. So it's just things like that, you need to sort of take a step back sometimes and just see what really does is going to, need your attention.
For sure. And it's interesting what you're saying there, because so the unit's not, so you don't have to go too far for it, but it obviously had that separation of getting it out of your house, which was huge. And you've also had, I think, the benefit of all of those years of retail experience, because so much of managing a team, you've had that experience, because that's been a huge piece of it as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Because sort of my main experience in retail management was always my love was training. I could just see the benefit of training. And the girls know, it's like, check, follow up, make sure you train people properly, make sure they know what they're doing. So I think, that has helped a lot, because I want everyone to sort of be thinking like me. And to do that, it means having sort of my brain going into their brain. And to do that is just sort of a good sort of training structure. So we have managed to set up sort of training folders for everyone,
Hmm.
procedure sheets, process notes, sorry, where we can sort of train people from that. And also sort of that's the basis of their training. Yeah, so it's massive to everyone, and customer service, obviously, within the business.
And also, it sounds like, because now you're training, I think as the team grows, there's a difference between training somebody, which can be difficult in itself, but now you're training people who train people. So you're like another step removed, right? Because you have people,
Exactly. Yeah.
team leaders who are helping run the unit, and then you have
Yeah.
the people who are coming in, and maybe you have to flex up at certain times of year and that kind of thing. So I always found, for me personally as a manager, that was like a big difference between when I was training the person who was going to do the job versus when I had to. It's like another level, isn't it? You have to
That's
train the
right.
person who's going to train the person.
Totally, yeah. And then now I'm following up the team leaders. Lucy and Emma are brilliant. And Lucy was on maternity up until about when did she come back? July. And having her back and just sort of working alongside Emma at the unit, it's brilliant, because I can just sort of have a meeting with them, make sure they're clear on the objectives for the week, and then just kind of just check in with them and just follow up their training and that kind of thing. So yeah, totally. And it is quite hard, because obviously Disko Kids is my baby. It's my third baby, and I need to make sure it's okay. And it's all working as I would want it to work if it was just me back on the kitchen table.
And do you feel like you're getting to that point now then, that where you can step
Yeah,
out? Yeah.
literally in the last sort of few months. I think Lucy coming back was really, really pivotal in that, because she's, a great part of the team, and there's a lot to do. It's not just packing orders and sending them out. Customer service is now a massive part of the business. Returns are another massive part. As we've grown, just things like processing returns, things that people have ordered 2 sizes of. We introduced Klarna, I think it was last year, and it just meant everyone had that flexibility of ordering things that they weren't paying for straight away, that they could then send back. And you just don't anticipate that. I've also got somebody that I haven't even met. Bless Kate, works from remotely, and she has a background in sort of sourcing. So she's been really helping with all the sort of stock ordering. And, because we order from different places, it's not just Tom like it used to be back in, when we first started. So even Emma has started ordering with Tom. Kate's helping with all the jewelry ordering. And that's just another thing that I then don't have to be too involved with. I can just check in and see that the quantities are right and what we've got excess stock of, what's selling well. So yeah, it's very complex. Even just talking about it is making my brain spin.
But it's so interesting hearing about it though, because I think for a lot of people that can be something that feels like a real blocker to growth, because the idea of having to manage people if you don't have that experience, or the idea of having to explain something to somebody if you've been the one doing it the whole time.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like you're saying patience, time.
Patience, and time, and just And I have this thing. I don't know whether it's but sometimes you need to. And I'm the same with this. But you have to tell somebody something 3 times sometimes, which totally go in. If it's something difficult, maybe you might email them. You follow up with some verbal on it as well, and you've also got like I don't know, something on the wall, or you show them how to do it as well, just so it's kind of, it really goes in, because not everyone picks up everything first time. Some people learn differently. Some people just want to keep doing it. I know I wouldn't employ me to do the orders. But yeah, to my age, I'm just so crap on computers that I would need to be shown a lot of times. Whereas something else creative, I might just, have an idea. So I appreciate that everyone's got different skills as well in the unit. And, we've got Sinead, who's brilliant at all the content that she does with me, the pictures. She can really see what the videos when she's videoing me in the unit service area jumping around. She's really got an eye for that. Ella's been helping with all the stocking, and she's really sort of meticulous with how she counts the stock and makes sure it's right, feeds back. So yeah, it's all that kind of thing that is getting the right person trained, or the right person in the job that's gonna sort of do it properly.
Play to their natural strengths.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really great advice. So what have been some of the biggest challenges? I mean, we've talked about the unit, but what else would you say have been some of the challenges, and how have you overcome them?
I guess, the unit is the biggest one. the processes and that kind of thing, and just juggling everything. I think I just try and do too much. I probably should. My challenge is that I can sort of take a step back a bit from things, and I think I am there now, but it's just been a lot to sort of do over the last year, with everything behind the scenes as well. You have life and kids to look after too, and the juggle of kind of making sure they're okay and that you can work in the times that you're not with them, sort of thing. So I
Yeah.
think that's the hardest thing, is just sort of doing it all alongside having a family.
Yeah, for sure. Everyday life and everything else that you're
Yeah.
dealing with. Because I always say this, we're all 360-degree people. Our businesses are so important to us, but we've also got a lot of other stuff going on as well.
Yeah, exactly. Alongside I think that the unit and just training the team, having systems in place. But and now the next thing is because the unit, we have kind of outgrown the unit. It's very cold in the winter as well. So I kind of was looking at trying to get somewhere that was more thermal, as it were.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
but the thought of doing that in
Warmer.
the next 2 months is it's going to be too much. So I think we'll probably look at that in January and just focus on sort of getting ourselves ready for this year, because we the growth is we keep growing, and which is brilliant and a brilliant problem to have, but it's just making sure everything else is balanced alongside that the team are happy in where they are. So I think we're going to build an office in the far end so that we can have workspaces that aren't cold, so at least when you're sat down it's not as bad.
Yeah, for sure. They can warm up in between, but
Yeah, exactly.
so it's keeping the needs of the team in mind as the business grows then.
Yeah, I think so. I kind of, and also just focus, what we focus on going forward. I mean, t-shirts still are our biggest part of the pie, and making sure that I do. I mean, I'm going to spend a lot of time on design work over the next few months, because I feel like where we've grown in other areas, like we've introduced things that complement the t-shirts, like the skirts, or we've got the jumpsuits, the jewelry, and the bags. I've maybe taken my eye off the meat of the business and where we started, and the t-shirt side of it. So yeah, it's having that focus, and I think sometimes I need to, and you've helped me so much with that. It's just pulling myself back and looking sort of from overhead and just seeing where we need to go and steer the ship to.
We need to focus, and I think that's something that also you always do really well, and I'm sure also helps having that background in retail, is that you're thinking about then the newness and what next to offer the customers, and you obviously have a great eye for product selection and picking out the things that your customers are going to love to complement their outfit.
And another growth area that we really need to focus on is the extended size range. We'll get so many people wanting either a double XL small or a 5XL. So we've introduced those in just our bestsellers and in a black t-shirt, because I had to, even though the manufacturing, I haven't had time to do so much this year. It's even that in itself, because the t-shirts we use, we don't manufacture ourselves. We still use blank t-shirts, and then our lovely printer Tom down the road just prints them, screen prints them. So if the t-shirt doesn't come in those sizes, I had no option but to sort of have to go back and get them manufactured. So the lead time on those, is, I think, it depends where they're from, but I'm actually using the company that we buy the t-shirts from. They're doing the manufacturing, so that's taken a little bit of pressure off me, because they know what they're doing, and they can sort of get it's all the things that go with making the products, like the grading and stuff that I don't have experience with, to make sure we do have that size range. So it's going really well, but we've already run out of some sizes, like I think the 4XLs. I hadn't ordered enough. So it's another kind of 6 weeks now before I can stock those again. So again, it's pivoting with that, and how we store that stock, that kind of thing. It's not just a case of ordering them in. And I get really, somebody made a comment on a Facebook ad the other day, and it really got to me, because we just launched the extended size range, and she'd obviously not seen them, and said, can do better. And I just thought, oh God, what can I do? I'm already sort of busting a gut to get these t-shirts out, and I'm getting more. And so it's making sure, you're listening to your customer and just but not over promising. I think we haven't
Yeah.
really pushed the extended size range yet because of that reason, is that, I haven't got a massive amount of stock at the moment, but I just need to see, what quantities we need in those different sizes that we haven't normally stocked. So yeah.
I gotta love the anonymous comments or the ad comments. Do you know what it is about ads that just mean that I'd say most of my clients who run ads, they're the ones that get the like crazy comments.
Yeah, because it's the first time they're seeing you or meeting Disko Kids. They don't know anything about the business. They don't know that we're only just we are slowly growing, but we're still quite small. And how much it bloody hurts, because I really personally, and and customer service is massive to me. So because all the girls will tell you this, and they I think they have that same level as well. They know how to react to a customer's comments and things if they get an email and help emails. But it is massive to me, and I really put a lot of time and effort into it. So when it's criticised, it does. Yeah. So, and I really do listen to customers and their feedback. So if ever you have something you want to say to us, just drop us a line, because
But do you find that it's slightly easier because you do take it so personally, or it's so important to you? Do you find it slightly better now that someone else is handling the majority of the customer service queries?
Yeah. Well, having said that, I have over the weekend, although I'm the one that probably does look at it. I don't have somebody that does it on the weekend. So I do get involved. And that's when I kind of, I probably should just be, taking a step back. We're going to get Lottie trained up, my daughter, to, she's doing some work over the summer. So it's like, right, okay, you can do customer service.
Customer service on the weekends.
Yeah.
Or to be fair, I wonder how many big retailers have customer service over the weekends. Could you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't see an email that's somebody that's not happy and not go straight back into
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And just reply. I know, like you say, a lot of people. I'm trying to think if I rarely do contact people like Zara or anyone, but I wouldn't. I suppose, you wouldn't expect them to get straight back. I think it's just my mentality. I don't want to keep people waiting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you've touched on the charitable element to your business briefly. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do and why?
Yeah, so we've always supported the child bereavement charity Winston's Wish. I lost my partner Aid in 2010 to a melanoma cancer. Lottie was 3, so I'm going to get to it for that.
Oh,
Lottie was 3, and I didn't know what to do, what to say to her, or how to navigate that time. And they were just brilliant. They've got a brilliant website, and all the information that anyone needs. So if you know anyone that's lost a loved one that has kids, it's a great place to sort of get that help. And we just wanted to give back. So, we've donated from it's the year's t-shirt. So if you bought, say, a 1973 t-shirt this year, part of the profits go to Winston's Wish. And I've done a few runs. I'm doing a run coming up, but that's not for Winston's Wish. But I try and, whenever I can, just raise some money for the charity, because they are brilliant.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I think it's so meaningful. I mean, I donate to charity from my business as well.
You do the percentage thing, don't you?
I do 3% of sales. 3% of all sales goes to charity. Currently, I'm supporting Shelter, and I'm such a big believer in charitable donations from your business, because I feel like personally, I make a quarterly donation, and I don't know if you feel like this too, but the day that I make the donation, I feel like I'm just like so pleased.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
It just makes such a nice thing to do. And I think especially something like Winston's Wish, which sounds, such an amazing charity. And you've got that personal connection with it. And then to feel like you're giving back must be hugely rewarding.
I don't post as much now. Obviously, when it was rawer, sort of 6 years ago when we first started, I wanted to help other people to sort of say it's okay. And, at that point, it would have been about 6 years after we'd gone through it. And you just know you're helping people. I always get a comment, if even now when I post, or a message saying, thank you so much for sharing that. I've got a sister that's lost, blah, blah, blah. And you just feel like, oh yeah. So I will keep talking about it. And it is an important, part of the business. So yeah.
For me personally, I feel like it makes everything I do in the business just feel that much more significant when you know that it's just that donation at the end of it. So
exactly, yeah.
Do you want to? So you mentioned that you're doing a run. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So this is actually, me and my sister are doing a run. We're going to Mumbles in the Gower in July, and we're going to do a 10K. It's for cancer research, in particular for the Bowel Babe Fund. I haven't put the link up yet, but I think you've got the link, haven't you?
I've got the link. I'm going to put it in the show notes.
It's in a month. I'm going to do it, even if I have to walk part of it. I don't think I've done a 10K I've had a dodgy knee over the last few years. So it's been really hard to sort of, to get back into running. But at the moment it's okay. And I'm hoping I've set myself a target of £1,000, but yeah, any sort of support on that would be amazing. And I'll be putting the link in my notes, in my bio as well on Instagram, if it's, as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I just want to ask you one final question, which is just, if anyone's listening to this, and obviously your business has grown amazingly, it's very inspiring to watch it grow from my perspective. And I'm sure for a lot of people listening who would love to get to that point of having a unit and a team and everything else, could you sum up like one piece of advice or just one thing that is just helped you get to where you are today?
Oh my goodness. I think it's the whole delegating and outsourcing things. You can't grow unless you sort of give things away. Like I say, the accounts I just hated doing accounts. So that was pivotal really, that I had somebody that could do that. The outsourcing of the Facebook ads, that has been a massive part of the business growth. I did try and do it myself. And I realized through lockdown as well, I think I sent myself absolutely nuts trying to do that. So yeah, outsourcing really, I think is, and having a good support kind of network. I've got a few biz pals that just keep me sane and we chat through things.
You do have a great group of biz pals, I have to say.
Yeah.
So outsource and get support.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. I really enjoyed talking to Helen and hearing about her amazing business. If you want to find out more, go over to Disko Kids, that's Disco with a K, on Instagram, or head over to www.diskokids.co.uk to see more of Helen's fabulous t-shirts, sweatshirts, and amazing accessories, as well as finding out more about everything she does supporting Winston's Wish. And we've also got a link in the show notes to Helen's fundraising for the Bowel Babe Foundation, so why not support her there too. Thank you so much for listening. Do tune in next week. We have a new episode every Thursday, and if you subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or follow the podcast in Spotify, you'll be the first to know about every new episode. If you've enjoyed this week's episode, then I invite you to check out resilientretailclub.com. The Resilient Retail Club is the membership for anyone wanting to start, grow, or scale a profitable product business. No more trawling Google trying to find the answers to your questions or wading through general business advice that speaks mainly to service-based businesses. Whether you're still at the idea stage or you've been going for a while but want to get more focused and organised when it comes to your business, the Resilient Retail Club is the place for you. With a library of courses tailored to creative product businesses, several live sessions a month, and a supportive and active community, the Resilient Retail Club is the perfect membership to help you hit your goals faster. Check it out at resilientretailclub.com.